Yes, sir, we're officially back at it. This is Boog Nice coming at you with the Medicom Mafex Star Wars Revenge of the Sith movie Darth Vader figure review. Let's do it.
This ain't for no scalper. You a scalper? Then fuck out shit. This one's for them real collectors. That's army building and posing figures. Marvel Legends, imports, mini matey, I'm fucking with them. Hype beast, we know about you. Stay buying figs, don't know about it.
And taking a look at the exterior of the box, this is the left flap. You can see it says Star Wars, and there's a picture of the Darth Vader figure. And on the right, it says Star Wars again, and then there's a full picture of the figure. It says Darth Vader, number 37, Mafex. And on the front, more the same. You can see the figure through the window of the package. Taking a look at Darth Vader out of the package, and you know, I'm not blown away by this figure. I definitely have a few gripes. I'm not sure how I feel overall just yet. I guess going through the review, I'll make a final determination, but I feel a little guilty. I felt like, you know, maybe I could have used this money more wisely on something else that I really care about or that would have really made me happy. I feel kind of sad. I don't know. Let's move through his accessories and see what's what. He does come with a decent amount of accessories, quite a few interchangeable hands. Mafex is pretty good with giving you a nice variety of hands. Straight out of the pack, he comes with this set of open palms. And this is my third figure from the Star Wars franchise from Mafex. I do have the first version of Vader they did, which I believe was the Return of the Jedi version, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then I have Boba Fett, which was very good. That is actually was one of my top 10 figures of 2016, I believe. Yeah, he came out in 2016. So I was looking forward to this guy, thinking that they would be able to fix a few things that was wrong with the first release and really knock it out of the park on this one here. But yeah, I'm talking and talking. Open palms, moving right along. And then he's got another set of open palms with the fingers slightly spread. These are the strip club hands right here. Then he's got these semi-open hands that are sort of cupped. I guess these might be used for like force chokes or something like that. And he's also got a set of pointer hands. And these look fine. And he's got a set of saber holding hands. You can see these are open through the middle, so you can slide the saber in there. Let's actually pause on looking at the hands and look at the saber real quick since I have these on. So his saber comes in two parts. You have the hilt here, and then you have the actual saber or the blade, and the hilt can actually attach to his belt. There's a little peg on his left side, and there's a small hole in a saber, and you can peg that in like so. You can plug the blade in, and let's get that in his hand, and he seems to be able to hold that with no issue. That's with the right hand. And with the left, no problems there. And both hands, if you want to do that. Is that something that Vader does? Does he hold the lightsaber with two hands? And then getting back on track with the hands, he also comes with a set of fisted hands. And it should be noted that it was very easy to swap out the hands. There were no issues there. All of the hands that were semi-open or open or that can be used to hold things were kind of soft, pliable. So there's no problem there. Then this is pretty interesting. He comes with another set of hands. These are actually attached here. And you're supposed to be able to pop off the wrist here at this little cuff. This is a little detail that I actually like, that you can see the cuff here. I'll go over more of the details on the deco in a second. But you can actually pop the hands off or pop the wrist off here. And then you can tab these in. So let's do that. This is supposed to simulate when he's kind of like folding his arm. So there's that, and then I'll line this up and tab these in. I like this. I thought it looked a little cheesy when I looked at it on the box. I didn't really like the fact that it would swap out from the wrist area and not like the upper bicep like some of the Dragon Ball Z figures. So I thought it didn't translate as well, but this looks pretty good, and maybe it would not have worked if it was a swap out at the upper bicep with the way his armor is on the upper chest. But I do think this looks pretty good. Just when you get underneath here, it looks a little sloppy, like his arms are not really crossed. But, you know, at the right angle, it still works pretty well. I do understand why they did it that way. And then his last accessory is an interchangeable head. You can unmask him and show his kind of burnt face. So the top of his helmet comes off, and then this portion here comes off, and this was a little hard to get off, so I'm gonna pause this for a sec. So yeah, that comes off, and then you can swap on the interchangeable head, and then you got a burnt up peanut head Vader here, and that looks okay. But like I said, I think the head looks kind of small. Every time I see Vader without his mask and see him burnt up, I think about this this funny meme that always makes me laugh. I'll show it real quick. Top 10 funniest memes. But just taking a quick look at the deco. Obviously mostly black on Vader, and again, this is supposed to represent him and Revenge of the Sith right at the end of the movie when he got cut up and defeated by Obi-Wan and burnt up, and then immediately put in a suit and sent to work basically for the Empire. And so you know, this whole apparatus here is a little different, but it looks pretty good. This is a soft pliable plastic here, so that doesn't hinder the articulation on the legs or anything. And then this is cloth, and there is wire down this portion of his cape. You know, the boots look okay. This part is shiny. I'm not sure how I feel about this part, the guard here and the crotch area. I don't know if that looks right or not. I'm not sure how. The one thing I didn't like about the first Vader from Mafex was I thought the shape of the helmet was a little funny. I didn't like it. This one it's better. I don't know if it's still not the best, but it's definitely better. It looks pretty good. And this is soft and pliable up here. So we're going to get into the articulation actually. This is where I start to get angry and have some gripes, because in true Mafex fashion, there's already issues, quality control issues, and things that I just don't like in terms of the articulation and how he moves. First of all, I can't get the Saber to stay on here. It just keeps falling off, so that's number one. This part on the helmet, this upper part that comes off, keeps turning, so if you like taking pictures and stuff like that, you got to always be cognizant of this and make sure it's lined up properly so his helmet doesn't look off-centered and look stupid when you're trying to take a picture. And that just keeps turning. I don't like that. The other thing I didn't like about the first Vader was the head and neck articulation. He couldn't look down, and you know, this guy is he's tall, he's a big guy. You want him to be able to look down on his opponents, on his adversaries, and this does not look down at all. While it does look up a decent amount, and you can get him to look left and right, and the head will pivot. You know, it gets a good range of motion as far as the circular motion, but the fact that he can't look down is a bummer. I don't like that at all. Now this whole portion here, the shoulder pads and this chest piece is soft material. You notice that they didn't give him a real chain here like the Black Series version, so you don't got to worry about that moving around. I thought that was fine. But being that these shoulder parts are soft and pliable, the arms will come up pretty far. No problem there. I think his arms look a little skinny too. I don't know. Upper bicep swivel. You could actually do a full 360 on the shoulders. I'm skipping parts. Yeah, you do get an upper bicep swivel. You get a double jointed elbow. You get rotation at the wrist here and the hinge. And if you wanted to kind of turn this part with the cuff, I suppose you could. Let's see. Yeah, you could turn them at the cuff there too. So you get a double set of articulation there as far as the wrist goes. And this is what I don't like either. This upper torso does have a bit of movement back and forth and left and right, but if you turn it too far left and right, boom, coming apart. Mafex. It's the same thing as far as the arms go, but this arm is already kind of loose and funny. It's looking real shaky here at the bend on the wrist. After I tried to pop this cuff back in, this got really loose. So again, Mafex. You do get rotation here at the waist. You can turn them left to right a good amount, and you can get it to move back and forth just a little bit. At the pelvis, the legs will come up pretty far, but guess what? When you start trying to do dynamic stuff, Mafex. But the legs do rotate on this joint, so you do get an upper thigh swivel, and you do get a nice double jointed knee. No rotation at the upper boot, but you do get rotation here at the foot, and it'll hinge, and you get a toe joint, and you get a nice pivot. There's a nice range of motion on the foot, but the foot is loose. A lot of these parts are already starting to get loose. So it is a good range of motion, but I'm a little afraid to really get him in anything dynamic. This is when Vader was actually going nuts, really. This is when he should be able to be jumping around and flipping and doing all types of stuff. As far as the continuity of the story goes, this is like, I guess, Rebels time or something like that. I don't watch that cartoon, so let me know. was it Rebels, and I don't know the other cartoon. Let me know in the comments. But yeah, the fact that they have the wiring and the cape is nice. So if you want to get his cape kind of flowing in the wind and different stuff like that, that's cool. Unfortunately, it's only down the left and right side. It's not here at the back or throughout the entire cape. A couple quick size comparisons. You can see the Star Wars Black Series Darth Sidious on the left, and the SH Figure Arts Luke Skywalker on the right. So we got 3 different lines here that actually seem like they go together pretty well. That was one thing that I liked about the first Mafex Vader, was that it scaled pretty well with this SH Figure Arts Luke Skywalker, meaning that the Figure Arts Vader that they put out was way too small. That was like literally the first Star Wars figure for Figure Arts, if I'm not mistaken, and they just didn't do a good job with that. So I do like the size between these two here, and even Darth Sidious. I think that looks good. And then there's the Black Series Stormtrooper and a NECA 7-inch Arnold Schwarzenegger Terminator 2 dude. And there he is side by side with the first release of Vader, which is on the left. And you can see the differences. This portion on his belt is larger, and the original one, this is smaller. The colors here are a little different. This area of the chest is shiny. On the new version it is not. And you can see the differences in the helmet. And you can see this area is a little lighter. This is all black here. The original version just seems a lot more shinier in more places. I don't know. They're about exactly the same height. Oh, real quick, let me do a size comparison with the Star Wars Black Series Vader. Is that so? You know, the Mafex definitely looks more clean, more streamlined. The Star Wars Black Series Vader looks a little pudgy. He looks a little too stocky. I do like the sculpt of the Mafex Vader in comparison to the Black Series one. So definitely not the best offering for Mafex. Like I said early on, I probably could have spent this money a bit more wisely on something else that I really care about. But hey, Boog did that, so hopefully you don't have to go through that. So I mean, if you don't want to spend an upwards of 45 or 50 bucks on a Vader, and you want to wait for the definitive Vader, then that'd be cool. I don't think that this is by any means the definitive Vader. I don't think that any line has really nailed it just yet. I think we're still waiting for that very, very good classic 1/12 scale Vader. You know, I'll hold on to this one. I ended up getting 2 of these. Actually, one I'm gonna send out to my man Merv as a gift. I guess he probably don't really care about this being a gift at this particular point once he sees this review, but I got a couple of things for him that I'm gonna send out that way to Singapore. Mafex just can't seem to get past the quality control issues. There's always something with every one of their figures. And you know, I'm looking forward to this Spider-Man that they're going to release from the Spider-Man Homecoming movie. But again, you know, it seems like we're going to have issues with that figure too. They can't seem to get it right. So again, they didn't really nail it here. Not the best figure. Would not highly recommend this one, but it's up to you. All right. Until next time. Peace.
That's crispy.